Welcome back to Manward in the Field. I'm Alex.
I'm Andy.
And if this is your first time joining us, no, you're not seeing things. We normally would be in a field, as the name of the series suggests, but it's cold out. We're inside. New location, new series, same old guys. We listened. We heard from you guys. We read your comments. We got your emails. People wanted to learn more about investing. They want to learn about trading options, technicals, things like that. And we're more than happy to oblige.
All right, so we're getting into 2020. No doubt this is going to be a very news-heavy year. And folks are going to be wondering what to do about it. They're going to be inundated with headlines, inundated with trading strategies based on those headlines. So what do we do about it? That's what we want to look into today. Boeing. So this is a stock that's been all over the news lately. Recently the company announced that it's not going to be making the 737 MAX planes anymore. It also announced that it has to borrow $10 billion. So there's some trouble there, which matches up exactly what we talked about in our 25 days of stocks.
Boeing has gotten into a little bit of trouble. Last year they had two separate plane crashes with its 737. Those planes have all been grounded, which wouldn't be an issue except for it's one of the most popular types of Boeing's aircraft available.
Thousands of people have been laid off. Boeing is bleeding money because of it, and it started with a small computer glitch. Now the media, anything that happens within the world of Boeing, they find last week it was a computer that wouldn't boot up properly. It really shows the dangers of investing in the headlines. There was rumors that Warren Buffett was going to jump in. We know that Warren likes to come in and save companies. He went into Harley Davidson, wrote him a fantastic loan with high interest in 2008 and 2009. He was a big savior. So a lot of folks are buying into the rumor that Buffett's going to sweep in and save the company.
Come in here, turn it around, and other investors can ride his coattails.
Yeah, and a lot of folks followed that news recently. They jumped into Boeing on these rumors, and the next day, Warren's out there, doesn't confirm anything, nothing's happening. Stock price goes down the next day on another headline. So these people are out there, the old saying is trying to catch a falling knife. It's really dangerous. Even if you catch it, you're still going to get cut.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the volatility is because so many of the investors, so many of the folks who are holding the company now and getting into it are getting into it related to the news. There are people who are shorting it because of what they're seeing in the news, and there's people who are buying it because, like Buffett supposedly was, they think it's going to be a great turnaround story.
Yeah, and these are the same people that, don't believe anything in the political sphere. They make fun of the headlines. They don't trust the news, but yet they'll invest their hard-earned money. And the news is crap. You can't depend on it as an investor. You have to have some other strategy. And that's where the idea, that we talk about all the time, technical indicators, even fundamental analysis, if you know what you're looking for. Just don't go out there and be like, hey, this thing's in the news today, I'm going to buy.
Yeah, I think a big mistake in looking at stocks and valuing stocks is to look at them as if you can't assess what they're really worth. There are certain black swan events that can happen in any investment, just like there are black swan events that can happen in life. But you can look at a company and see whether it's financially sound. They have to publish the information about how their business is doing, how healthy it is, what their debt is, and that's so investors can make informed decisions about what's going on. I mean, talking about debt with Boeing, if you looked at the debt story for that company, it's been building and building and building up its debt, especially since those 737s have been grounded. I mean, right now, if you look at the fundamentals of that stock, regardless of the news, it's pretty scary.
Until this incident, they were pretty good, but now over the last year or so, they're down about 30% from their high. And to think, that suddenly that's going to turn around based on one headline or one news event is just wrong. If you're an option investor, maybe there's opportunity here. But if you're looking to buy and hold, that's not the right strategy. Buying off the headline du jour is not the right strategy. Like Alex said, you really got to do some more due diligence in there. So as an investor, what I recommend is having a tried and true program. There's thousands of stocks out there. Understand which ones you're going to buy and why based on something that you trust, that you uniquely know and are an expert on.
Yeah, I mean, it basically sets the rules for you. You can't sit down to a board game or sit down to anything and not know the rules, just start messing around on the board. This gives you some set protocols, lets you know when you want to get in, and in some cases lets you know when to get out.
I like that board game analogy. Think of it like a deck of cards. Somebody puts a deck of cards and you can play an infinite amount of games. That's no different than the stock market. But if you have set rules, you can play poker, blackjack, whatever, and you can be an expert in one of those. That's what you need to do, is figure out that strategy and invest that way and stick to it. Buffett's not out there buying on the headlines. No way. So neither should you. Have that strategy and stick with it. take that deck of cards, the stock market, figure out what your game is, and keep doing it.
Taking that analogy one step further, if you don't know what game you're playing, or if you don't know what your strategy is for investing right now, that's kind of where we can help. So if you don't already, I would encourage you to sign up for Manward Digest. That's our free daily e-letter. It comes out 6 days a week, and it kind of tells you what's going on. It's a great free resource. Obviously, I'm biased, but whatever. It's my YouTube channel. So sign up for Manward Digest. We'll put a link to that.
So ultimately, this is good news for an investor. We all want to know whether the headlines should affect the way we trade. 2020 is going to be crazy with headlines, but the answer is no. The headlines do not matter. If we have another strategy in place, we can circumvent the headlines, we can put the news down, and we can have a successful 2020.
Thanks for joining us, and here's to a stress-free year.
Yeah, cheers to that.
Hey, thanks for watching. We hope you like what you saw today. If you did, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free. Just hit that big red button below. Be sure to check back because we have lots of exciting financial topics coming up, including some investing tips, some how-tos, all that. So you don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.